All right, welcome back to Newport News at Warwick High School. Greg Picaveras along with Nate Milton as Heritage is taking on Warwick in boys basketball. We're at Warwick High School right here again for the varsity boys game tonight. Warwick still trying to find themselves. Heritage wants to get a win on the road.
Absolutely. This is a big-time game, my friend. The season is winding down like sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. This is an important game tonight.
Absolutely. Should be an exciting game tonight. Always the drama building up, music, everything going on. And, of course, Warwick wants to get off to a good start.
Right. Warwick wants to defend this house. Heritage is going to come in. They want to make some things happen. We brought the lights. They brought the camera. Let's see if these kids can bring the action out here on the court tonight.
Nate trying to talk above the crowd. Not easy, folks. Got the music going on live on Cox Cable 47, 517, and NPSTV.com. Heritage on the road in the gray, Warwick in the white.
I'm telling you, the player to watch tonight, folks, for the visiting Heritage Hurricanes, number 23, Travell Blizzard, who's averaging nearly 20 points a game. The Blizzard man is in the building tonight.
8-minute quarters. Our feature presentation on Cox Cable 47, 517 as we move into prime time. And NPSTV.com.
In the words of the great Michael Buffer, Greg, let's get ready to rumble. This is going to be a fight tonight.
A lot of these kids grew up with each other, and now, of course, they play against each other. Friends off the court, but you want to win on the court.
You know, the good sportsmanship we're going to see, class act by both teams, both coaches. But when that whistle blows, it's going to be a dogfight. We're going to see two teams coming out here trying to play hard and come away with a big-time win.
8-minute quarters. Heritage going right to left in the gray. Coached by Lou Radford, Warwick coached by Keith Stagg. Out there for Heritage, number 23, Travell Blizzard, as well as number 3, Angel, number 30, respectively, Sean Hudson. For the Hurricanes, number 21, Emmanuel. 2-0.
Good rebound and put back by number 12, Sincere Sumter for the Hurricanes.
And the layup is good. Warwick needed that bad.
That's what I like to see early on, Greg. I want to see some fight out of Warwick because Heritage obviously is coming in here with the bigger, badder athletes. But Warwick, can they step up? Can they stand up to the bully? Can they take his best shot and deliver one of their own? Nice opening basket by the Warwick Raiders.
Warwick with the ball, going left to right. Foul by the Hurricanes. Again, number 30 out there, Hudson. Number 21, Emmanuel. Number 12, respectively, for the Hurricanes, Sincere Sumter. Doesn't always want to be sincere on the court, though.
the opponent, the defense better be very sincere when they're guarding that young man because he can get hot in a minute.
Warwick with the ball. 2-0 is the score. We're at Warwick High School in Newport News. The layup is good. Nice shot there by number 24, Trey Jones. And Warwick got their first win of the year, and that gives them confidence.
Yeah, against a very tough Heritage team. I like to see the proactive hustle by the Warwick Raiders. Trey Jones doing a great job in the paint.
Another great shot in the paint. For Warwick out there is Thompson, McGill, Booth, Jones, and Willis.
I like what I'm seeing so far from Warwick, Greg. They're not being shy about things. They're taking it to the hoop.
And a nice layup right there by Sumter for Heritage. 6-4, trying to do a reset here at Warwick High School in Newport News. Fast-paced action of the boys. Warwick's got their confidence up. from that win they got recently.
This is not your daddy's Raiders squad. They're coming out here with some enthusiasm tonight, Greg. They're coming out here with that newfound confidence like you mentioned.
But your daddy's squad might have been a team with Jim Harvey and the late Ben Moore. So they were good teams, and Nate and I have talked about this court.
Yeah.
They ought to consider naming it after Jim Harvey and Ben Moore. The late Ben Moore also coached at Menchville. And I know Ben's watching somewhere tonight.
Absolutely. Coach Moore, definitely one of the all-time legends here in Newport News, both on and off the court. Just a good man in the community and a good mentor to these young men.
And the miss right there by number 23 for Heritage, respectively, Travell Blizzard.
And
the Blizzard, the Hurricanes out here.
Well, it's wintertime, Greg, but you wouldn't know it by the weather outside. It's not blizzard weather at all outside, but we'll see if it's blizzard weather inside tonight.
Absolutely, 7-6. Warwick up by 1. Heritage won the earlier meeting as the fans still coming into the ball game tonight. .526 left here in quarter number 1. 8-minute quarters in the VHSL. We're live on Cox Cable 47, 517, and NPSTV.com.
Travell Blizzard, one of the key players to focus on tonight, folks. We'll see if Warwick has an answer for him.
Heritage with the ball, trying to get the kinks out early. They're playing a little sloppy on the road.
Good defense by the Warwick Raiders. They are not scared of this Heritage team going toe-to-toe, blow for blow with a very tough, very athletic Hurricane squad.
Number 3 out there for Heritage is Angel. He's got the ball. Kind of setting things up here. See Blizzard trying to set the tempo. Heritage likes the motion offense. Warwick countering with the man defense, or they mix it up a little bit. Heritage under Lou Radford, who played for his alma mater here at Heritage, likes the motion offense, 3-2 defense. Their strength is driving to the basket, which you're seeing a lot tonight. Weakness is shooting, according to him. They beat Warwick earlier this season. Past great players at Heritage: Bruce Royal, Lou Radford, Jermaine Marrow, of course, plays for Hampton University now. Big name past coaches: Mike Gardner, Dennis Katufis. For Warwick, coached by Keith Stagg, likes the motion offense, man defense. Strength is the defense, weakness is the outside. Great past players in Elton Brown, Anthony Solomon, Dallas Corey. Former great coaches: Jim Harvey, the late Ben Moore. Warwick's had a lot of turnover since Ben Moore left here, though. A lot. That's been part of the problem.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of, can you reestablish that legacy? And there we see a turnover right there. That's not going to help things tonight.
If you ever had a chance to come to Ben Moore's practices here, like I did so many times, and watch his team practice, it was really a drill session.
Yeah, and I think the thing that impressed me the most about Ben Moore was that he was very disciplined, very strict with the young man, but there was also a lot of love and respect there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what made his players play so hard for him. They knew he was giving just as much as they were giving. And, it's hard to replace something like that.
And Ben Moore never looked for accolades. He always got credit when people came up to him and said, good job, not like, look at me, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, he was not.
That doesn't mean anything when you say you're doing a good job. Let somebody else say you're doing a good job.
He was not one of these me first kind of guys. He was somebody that just went out there.
He was humble.
Did the work.
Very humble. Nice shot right there by number 20 for the Raiders. That was Willis.
Warwick having a lot of success when they're taking it to the rack.
And Heritage getting that second chance opportunity, and they connect it.
That's Travell Blizzard doing work on the interior.
Oh, nice move right there by Willis.
Wow.
Showing some reverse movement there. Where's this been all year for Warwick? They've only won one game all year. That's a fact.
Sometimes all it takes, Greg, is one win.
Yeah.
Sometimes all it takes is one step to get their confidence flowing. And that was a great move by Willis to go up and take the contact, throw the ball up behind his head, and get the continuation. So this is a different Warwick team than we've seen most of the year. They know they can win now. The question is, can they be able to pull it off against a very tough, very game?
And you want to get hot in February. This is the time to get hot. They're not playing like a one-win team tonight. That's a credit to their coach, Keith Stagg, for keeping them focused and disciplined. And that's not easy for kids.
No, it would be very easy for them to kind of hang their heads and to get down on themselves with the season that they've had so far. But you got to give that credit, like you said, to Coach Stagg for keeping the players engaged, keeping them motivated, and that resulted in their first win of the season.
Shot selection, attack the glass. Warwick's got to do it better. Transition, you see the fans there. Play their game, not the opponent. Focus and intensity for 32 minutes. That's been lacking this year. And, of course, focus on the now.
Absolutely, my friend. And, of course, it's all about possession, the ball control. You want to limit your turnovers because those mistakes can cost you. And then the bench support is very important. You want to have those reserves step up for you.
There's Coach Radford. We had him on Sports Highlights. We had Coach Stagg on Sports Highlights.
Looking
Who
very
haven't we had
sharp
on Sports Highlights?
Lou Radford looking dapper tonight, Greg.
And Warwick's trying to move without the ball here. It's very important. And the Raiders in the white. Got to watch those sloppy passes. You got to crash the boards, be more aggressive. And what you're seeing Heritage do is the inside-outside play. They're mixing it up pretty well. And they're making it a team effort.
I like seeing Warwick being active, though, in the passing lanes, trying to make something happen.
Off.
And again, folks, it is all about avoiding that foul trouble early. You want to see that fire and desire. You want to see Warwick stay in the game. They can't get behind early.
2:31 left in the first quarter. Greg Bickadaris, Nate Milton. Glad you're with us at Cox Cable 47-517.
You see another sharp-dressed coach right there.
Yep, nice tie. Mike Powers, Aurelius Willis, Ted Albert, the officials. Almost a Euro step there, Nate. Oh, and the second chance rim shot goes in.
The Euro step and the Euro shot right there. Great job by the Heritage Hurricanes. That's why they're so tough, Greg, because they can beat you inside and they can beat you on the outside as well.
And nice layup and a miss. I like the intensity by both teams. 5-on-5 basketball. Varsity basketball. We're in Newport News at Warwick High School. Greg Bickadaris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. For more, log on to nnpstv.com.
Blizzards looked a little bit off so far early on in the game, Greg. I think, you can be a little too excited for a game.
And sometimes you take teams for granted when they only got a few wins.
Yeah.
Heritage can't take Warwick for granted.
No, they cannot. Especially, like you said, this is a rivalry game. The intensity's here in the crowd. The lights are here. The cameras are here. The action is out there on the court. So Heritage is primed for an upset if they're not careful with this Warwick Raider team.
Here comes the steal. And the layup is good by the Hurricanes. Atkins not on that Atkins diet right there. He got full on the steal and was able to convert that into points. I'm watching my desserts. What are you watching?
Sugars are a very important thing. You got to watch your sugars, and you got to drink more water. I'm cutting back on sodas, so that's what I'm doing this year.
Nate giving us some health and nutrition advice. Who needs Dr. Oz, right?
Who needs Dr. Oz? Who needs Dr. Phil?
It's the
there
replay.
We see
nice
the steal right there with Atkins. Great job by the Heritage Hurricanes, and that's how quickly they can turn defense into offense.
Nothing fancy, but just got it done.
Hey, 2 points is 2 points. Whether it's a dunk or whether it's a finger roll, it still counts the same, my friend.
It's the replay. Adds a new element to TV, of course. You see it all the time. Heritage got some height advantage there. You see it. Keep an eye on Sean Hudson, number 30 for Heritage. Kind of reminds me of a young Tree Rollins that played for Clemson years ago.
Yeah, I think, he also reminds me of Annalisa Goodman in the last game, where you've got that physical talent, but it's just a matter of matching a game to it. So we'll see where Hudson's game is tonight, because I think he could be a big key tonight if you want to see Heritage come away with this win.
56 seconds left till the end of the quarter. Stoppage in play. Remember, Keith Stagg has coached college basketball too, so you have that advantage, but it doesn't mean it's going to translate to wins. You just have to pay your dues in high school.
And it's very interesting because you've got two different philosophies. You get, like you said, Keith Stack, who has had that college experience, but then on the other side of the court, you got Lou Radford, who, very much like Stephon Welsh at Woodside, is bringing that lineage from being a player at the school and bringing that experience to the table and that credibility of knowing where these young men are at right now.
And Lou Radford played major college basketball.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this month on Sports Highlights, we have the Hampton University Athletic Director, as you see the cheerleaders, and the softball coach. Of course, Monet going to play for HU the Pirates next year. That's big time, former Little League star.
I'm telling you, I think that, when you have somebody that can make that leap, that can make that move, that's what it's all about. There you see the Heritage Hurricanes game planning right now, Coach Lou Radford, and on the other end of the court, like we mentioned, Greg, Coach Stack and the Warwick Raiders.
But she could have gone anywhere, any conference.
She could have, but I think, there's something to, again, we're in Black History Month. There's something to a historically black college and university that I think is an experience that you might not get at another university.
But she'll be in the Big South.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, less than a minute. Warwick down at home. They want to get this win on TV tonight.
It's a big win. Not only are the eyes in Newport News watching, but there are eyes all over the world watching, Greg, on nnpstv.com.
Set shot off. Got to make those second chance opportunities. Another fast break, miss.
Almost had another highlight reel play by Atkins. Good recovery defense, though, by the Warwick Raiders.
30 seconds till the end of the quarter.
And this quarter seemed like it's just flown by, Greg. Just both teams going back and forth as we see Atkins at the charity stripe. But, definitely a much faster pace in this game than in our previous game with the girls.
Of course, Heritage had some great coaches, like we mentioned, like Mike Gardner and Dennis Katufis over the years. Heritage has been a school since 96, 97. Warwick, earlier in the 20th century. Of course, the most visible school in Newport News because it's right on Warwick Boulevard. Yep. You can't miss it. All the other schools, Metroville's off the side of the road, Heritage is, Woodside's way off the side of the road, and Denby's on Denby Boulevard, but Warwick's on Warwick Boulevard.
Yep.
All right, surrounded by middle schools and elementary schools, too. Give and go is off with 21 seconds. Heritage up by 5, 16-11. Varsity basketball here since the 91-92 season.
The foul was on number 3, Angel, right there. So Angel committing the sin. But again, Greg, you talk about the history of Warwick High School, the oldest school in Newport News, and you can't go there without mentioning some of the great names of the past.
Now this is Temple at the free throw line. Yeah, like Anthony Solomon, who played for Virginia.
Anthony Solomon, Michael Vick, of course.
But in basketball, Elton Brown. Dallas Corey. Mike Smith played for Jim Harvey. So many. I mean, when Harvey and Walters played each other, the former past Ferguson coach in Warwick, it was an event here. Standing room only between Warwick and Ferguson. And Menchville and Pop Pitts was coaching, too.
Yep. I think one of the more interesting games we've had the chance to call, Greg, a couple years ago was in this very building when the late, great coach Ben Moore came back with the Menchville Monarchs to take on his former team, the Warwick Raiders.
Absolutely. He was always a Raider, though. Regardless whether he coached at Menchville, he would have told you if you talked to him, he was always a Raider. All right, final second. And Heritage has got a 5-point lead on the road. Quarter 1 in the books, 16-11. Heritage winning. Stay tuned.
Reserves Officer Training Corps, or NJROTC, provides military science and leadership training for high school students. Enrollment in NJROTC does not require you to pursue a military obligation after high school. If you complete 2 to 3 years in NJROTC, you can enter the military in higher grades than other enlistees. For more information, please contact your school guidance counselor or visit www.njrotc.navy.mil or www.navyjrotc.us.
All right, we're back here to live action, and we are live. Always going to do live games. Brings a certain element and juice to the game, literally.
Absolutely. Nothing like a live game. There you see the score, folks, 16-11. The home team, the Warwick Raiders, looking up at the Heritage Hurricanes, but it's been a very competitive game so far by both teams.
8-minute quarters in the Virginia High School League. Of course, Phoebus, one of the top teams in the area. Regional is always exciting. Oscar Smith does well in basketball. Lansdowne does well in basketball, too.
Good season so far this year by the Mitchfield Monarchs and Coach Struthers. I've been very impressed with Mitchfield this season.
He played, of course, in the NBA, went to Christopher Newport. Heritage with the ball and a 5-point lead. They want to keep the momentum going. Added value from the bench. Work the ball around well.
And sometimes what we'll see, Greg, in high school sports as well as collegiate and professional is sometimes if a team is superior to another team, they end up playing down to their competition.
Or playing like them.
Or playing, yeah, and that's what you don't want to fall into that trap. So that's what Coach.
Or like, we got this.
Yeah.
Nobody's got it till the end of the game.
The games are not played on paper. They're played on the court. They're played on the field. And so that's the mentality Coach Radford's got to drill into the Heritage team.
No look pass by the Hurricanes. Great assist right there by number 3 for Heritage. That was Angel.
Angel to Sincere Sumter. Great job.
And Angel was being sincere.
And the Angel was being sincere on that one, Greg. Nice transition basket by the Heritage Hurricanes.
Warwick with the ball in the white uniforms. Gold and red trim. Around their logo, the Raiders. Working the ball around very well. Outside jumper well off. Probably forced that a little bit too much there, Nate. Was Booth.
I think the key thing for Warwick right now, Greg, is we see a great steal by the Raiders, and Warwick is on the move. If they can keep this deficit to within 10 points, I think they'll be in good shape against a very tough Heritage team.
Outside jumper off.
Wow, just a lackadaisical pass by Warwick that was intercepted by number 30, Sean Hudson, for the Heritage Hurricanes. Easy bucket right there for Heritage. Warwick has got to be a little bit smarter with those passes.
And Warwick's got to watch it. They don't want to get too far in the deficit, and they stop it there. Good play by the Raiders to cut it down to 7.
Nice job.
They don't want to get it to double digits either.
Yeah, that was a nice job using the glass, Greg. I didn't know the bank was open this late at night.
Nice follow through by number 30. Hudson for Heritage. We call him like the Tree Rollins who played for Clemson. If you don't know who Tree Rollins is, folks, go to YouTube and see him. Tree Rollins, when he played for Clemson. He played under, some great Clemson coaches. Back then it was Bill Foster at Clemson. Bill Foster was coaching Duke. How about that? 2 Bill Fosters in the ACC. Norm Sloan at NC State.
Yep.
The great Dean Smith at Carolina. Lefty Drizel at Maryland. Cremens at Georgia Tech. I mean, there were some elite coaches back then.
Of course,
and still are.
Lefty Drizel, very familiar to fans in this area.
Coach at Newport News High School. Very relevant. And, of course, Maryland. Nice layup. Looking like David Thompson out there, that layup.
I like the assertiveness that we're seeing right now from Warwick. They're just not getting the shots to fall.
They got to get them to connect. That's the part of it. It's like horseshoes. You can throw it near it, but if you got to make it, that's the whole point.
Yeah, close is not close enough.
Or darts, kind of.
Yep.
In our case, in bowling, if you hit the gutter ball, you don't get no points. 22-13, 5:45 left till halftime.
And the key thing is, if you're Warwick, you don't want to let that lead get too far. And there you see Coach Radford right there.
Heritage alumni. And nice shot there by number 32 for the Hurricanes connecting. That was Ross.
Ross the boss with the score right there. Again, Greg, you don't want to let that lead get too far out of hand where you have to dig and claw and fight your way back.
I'm very impressed the way Heritage is playing. They're covering the weak side. They're blocking out Warwick. They're off to a very good start. And they're moving without the ball.
And the thing is, you want to start the first half off with a bang. You want to start the second half off with a bang as well, Greg, and get some momentum going. That's what we have not seen from Warwick so far.
Yep, focus on the task at hand and have some accountability and help your teammates out. This is not a one-man show. A lot of young players, college guys too, look at Harden and think they can do it all by themselves.
Yeah.
Kobe says you can't win like that.
Kobe says you can, and Kobe would know because Kobe tried that for a while before he got with Pau Gasol. Like in that period after Shaq, but before Pau Gasol, Kobe tried to be a one-man show, and it didn't work. He didn't win any championships. But once he got with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, they were able to put together another championship run.
Nice shot there by number 32 for the Hurricanes, respectively. Ross. And that's the thing. You have LeBron James, who's at an elite level, or Kobe, or Harden, but you still have to play with teammates that might not be as good as you are. Iverson dealt with that at Bethel, Georgetown, and, of course, the Sixers, especially early on. Remember, Chuck led them to a championship. He didn't win it, but he got there.
Yep. And the thing was that Lakers team that was just so dominant that postseason. And really all the Sixers had was Iverson and Mutombo.
4:35 left till halftime. Heritage now double-digit 13-point lead on the road, working the ball around very well. The layup is good.
Wow.
By number 23, Blizzard, as the Blizzard helps the Hurricanes.
And that's what we've been missing all night. And once Blizzard starts going, it can be a long evening, Greg, for the Warwick Raiders because he is somebody that can score points in bunches once he gets going.
One thing about Heritage, they forget quickly and they move on. They miss a shot, they get a rebound, they get a second chance, and they realize it's a marathon, not a sprint. As Heritage is taking the fans out of the game.
Yeah, the fans were definitely behind the Warwick Raiders early on in the first quarter, but as this game has started to wind on, Heritage has just expanded that lead, and the crowd has been fairly quiet for about the last 5 minutes or so.
Live on Cox Cable 47, 517, and NPSTV.com. And for those of you wondering, since we're live tonight, our replay will be on tomorrow. That is February the 6th, between Denby and Woodside boys at 7 o'clock. So an encore presentation of Denby and Woodside as you see Coach Lou tomorrow night, Denby and Woodside.
Yeah, and Coach Lou looked like he was happy to hear that there's going to be an encore presentation so he can go back and see how well his Hurricanes have played in this second quarter. They have really started to put their foot on that gas pedal and pull away from the home team Raiders.
Heritage just fundamentally sound. They get that second chance point. Excellent by Caleb Ross. Stoppage and play. You can 30-13.
Feel the momentum, Greg. Like it was close for a while, but now you can start to feel that pendulum swing. There you see Coach Stack and the Raiders. The momentum, the enthusiasm, the confidence that we saw from Warwick is starting to wane a little bit.
Heritage varsity team up by 17, and it takes a while.
And, of course, rising 11th graders, if you're interested in TV production, call Telecom for more information or to schedule a tour. You can give us a call at 757-591-4687. Again, 757-591-4687. Extension 0 if you're a rising 11th grader and you're interested in a career in front of the camera, behind the camera, producing, directing. We can teach it to you here and enjoy the program.
And we've had a lot of varsity athletes, boys and girls who've been in our telecom program. Emmanuel
Number 21 for the Hurricanes.
Who just shot the ball. He must have heard you call him, Nate. Here come the Raiders. Whatever the guys are doing in the truck tonight, the audio is great. In the truck, too.
I'm telling you, great job by
no hurricane in the truck.
Adult staffs and a student crew. No hurricanes, no blizzard.
Turn Nate's volume up. I want to hear more of Nate. That's just an inside joke. All right, 2:50 left till halftime. 30-13. Glad you're with us. For those of you who worked all day today, just kick back, relax. Got the second half coming up. Get a bite to eat and watch us on TV.
Unlike
or on your phone.
As I say, or on your phone, or on your tablet. Unlike the Super Bowl, we will have offensive action here for you tonight, folks.
We won't have Maroon 5 at halftime, though. They're kind of boring, actually.
Yeah, no Maroon 5 at halftime. Another score by the Hurricanes.
I like to see Stevie Wonder at halftime.
Honestly, I think the best halftime still to this day for me would have to be the year Prince did halftime. And was out there in the rain with the Florida A&M band playing Purple Rain. That was a great one. Michael Jackson had a good halftime show.
I got to give them credit. You have it in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You see the cheerleaders there. You want to have it. These guys work hard all year long to get there. They should have equal conditions. The weather should not be an issue. I think that was a big issue a few years ago when it was in New York.
Yeah.
Because it's, the last thing they want to do is play in the cold and the rain. I mean, they do that already for 16 games plus the preseason, as you see Coach Radford. But you play in a dome or at least the sunny weather like Florida or the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's why you have the Super Bowl there to reward. Only 2 teams make it, and only one's going to win. And you only remember one.
Well, you want to reward those teams, but also you want to reward the fans who are paying a lot of money to go to those games, and they don't want to be out there in the cold either.
Does it last a lot longer than a regular season game?
Yep.
Warwick with the ball, just struggling, trying to find themselves. They're trying to regroup here, and they miss. Here come the Hurricanes, just pounding it on. As we have the live web stream on, nnpstv.com, Cox Cable 47, 517. See, we like both, Cox and Verizon. Of course, Greg Lesko loves Apple TV and Roku.
Telling you, folks, there's a million ways you can find us in this new era, digital streaming. We are bringing this to you all around the world, coast to coast, station to station. This is an exciting matchup tonight, folks. Your game of the week.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone as the game is on.
iPhone, Android. Coach Stack might not want to watch the replay.
He wanted to watch that shot. Nice one by number 21, respectively, for the Raiders. That's Booth. Warwick so needed that. There's Coach Stagg. We had him on Sports Highlights several years ago. Coached the apprentice school squad, the Builders.
And I think that's appropriate, Greg, that, Keith Stagg is coming from the apprentice school, the Builders, because that's what he's trying to do here at Warwick. He's trying to build a program up.
Get a culture going.
Get a culture going, get some consistency and a foundation here for the Warwick Raiders.
The lamp is no good. Here come the Hurricanes. Heritage is full of energy tonight. Remember, these kids have gone to school all day, too. They're playing like it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Wow. And look at that. Nice outside baseline shot.
And Sincere Sumter is feeling it, folks.
He was sincere about that for sure. Wow. Getting the crowd involved, the Heritage side.
Take a look right here in the replay, Greg. Bobbles the pass and then just up and in from long range. And here you see him, much like Michael Jordan, he's feeling that shot coming off of that three-pointer.
Barely had a hand in his face. He's tall to begin with. 1:17 left. Heritage is up by 20. 35-15.
And I'll tell you who Sincere Sumter reminds me a bit of, Greg Bigaveris. He reminds me a bit of Chris Bosh, when Chris Bosh was in Toronto for the Raptors. He was a big guy, but he could play outside.
Bosh was left-handed, though.
Yep, Bosh was left-handed, made him a little bit trickier to defend. But I think Sincere Sumter's got a little bit of that Kevin Bosh game in him.
I agree.
Chris Bosh. I don't know why I keep calling the man Kevin. I was thinking of Kevin McHale when we were having that great discussion about the Celtics and the Lakers earlier.
how Kareem dominated the Celtics of the 70s and the 80s.
They don't make him like Kareem anymore. Streaming live, folks, bringing you this action.
But you can't watch it on a flip phone. You need a regular phone, folks.
No.
There he goes again. He's feeling it. Number 12 for Heritage, Sincere Sumter. He is not being sincere to Warwick.
I don't care what month it is, Greg. This is the middle of winter, but it is heating up in here. Sincere Sumter is feeling it right now, and the Heritage Hurricanes are running away with this ball game.
Yes, they are by 22 points.
Once again, my friend, there you see, great job passing by the Hurricanes, and Sumter eyes it, buys it, and knocks it down.
And he nails it, and that's a very difficult shot to make it the baseline. All right, Greg Bick, Nate Milton, at Greg Bick on Twitter.
At in the number 8, MOZAIK, at Nate Mosaic on Twitter.
We might do a shout-out for our fans in the third quarter, get them involved a little bit. Maybe they can give us some advice what Warwick needs to do.
Double team Sumter would be my prescription for the moment.
Maybe do a box and one.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of people doing box and ones always. You know, in women's college basketball, I know Maryland's had a lot of people do box and one on some of their players in the Big Ten. Heritage working the ball around, getting it outside.
They're going to look
the
for
arc.
Sumter again.
They penetrate. And good rebound there by the Raiders. They need to capitalize on those rebounds. It goes out of bounds, 38-17.
And right there you see the frustration by that young man for the Warwick Raiders. And Greg, you know, as much as we talked about them gaining confidence from that win, just as easily they can lose it and kind of fall back into those old habits.
Yep, you quickly forget after the win. You get a little momentum, but way outside. It's good.
Wow.
Downtown like world be free. That was Daryl Atkins.
Daryl Atkins keeping this thing going. It's like him and Sincere Sumter are having their own three-point shooting contest right now.
Scoreboard says 3.3.
Man.
Warwick needed that, but they're way down right now, folks, by 22 points.
Think about it, folks. At the end of the first quarter, Greg, it was 16-11. It was a 5-point game, and it has been all Heritage ever since, my friend.
Full court pressure defense by the Raiders. Warwick likes that motion offense. And that's it. We're at halftime with the score. It is Heritage 41, Warwick 20. Stay tuned.
Music and fine arts provide enriching experiences. They teach students that there can be more than one solution to a problem, more than one right answer, that mistakes are learning experiences and present an opportunity to be creative and flexible. The arts encourage persistence and dedication. They require sustained concentration, personal reflection involving critical analysis, and self-adjustment to reach desired goals. These are essential 21st century skills. Skills recognized as important to productive career and citizen success. Each student deserves and benefits from an arts-rich education.
All right, back here at Warwick High School in Newport News, Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton. It's 41-20 in favor of the Heritage Hurricanes. Nate Milton, it's been really all Heritage tonight.
It has been. Like we were saying, Greg, it was very close in that first quarter. But after that, there you see the score right there in front of you, folks. 41-20, a 21-point lead for the visiting Hurricanes.
Enjoy, Coach Radford. And welcome to our third segment of Sports Highlights, our November edition. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and hope you enjoyed our first two guests today, Michael Norton and Jim McGrath. It's a treat now to talk to the brand new head varsity boys basketball coach at Heritage High School, Lou Radford, who also played at Heritage. Lou, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Heritage had some great coaches over the years like Dennis Katubis and Mike Gardner, and we'll start off with that. It's not easy replacing Mike Gardner.
Absolutely not. I'm fortunate, though, to have him as a mentor of mine. And coming behind him and Coach K, who I play for, they really set a pattern down for what success is and put me in a place really to kind of carry on the torch. So
Right.
that's the good thing about it.
And you're going to have to do your own style. Are you going to bring some of your own players that you played with kind of to talk to these guys, how it was done back then? Have you got a game plan set?
Yeah, I think one thing that was important for me is to devote some time to finding a staff that's young and has the culture instilled in them that Heritage basketball is really known for. So, yeah, we've put together a really nice staff, mainly of people who have some connection to Heritage. And a lot of my guys have played at Heritage and were really successful.
I'm sure it's a dream come true. And that's important to have a good staff. You're all buying in the system.
Absolutely. As we talk as a staff, one thing we keep in mind is that each one of us, we have parity. Each one of us is good at something and is able to totally operate in their role. There's no real diversion to what I want to do. I'm going to be okay because I know who they are, with them fully operating the way they want to operate. And I think that cohesion is important for us to be successful.
Right. We're talking to Lou Radford, the head boys basketball coach at Heritage High School. Greg Pickaveras, glad you're with us for our November edition of Sports Highlights. And we're here in November now, so the season's right around the corner.
Absolutely. I think now is a time where we're really starting to preach to our kids that we have to be unified. This is a team that's lost a lot of seniors, and they're learning how to play at a high level. So as we go into season play, we're definitely going to have to rely on each other rather than one specific person to accomplish the goal.
And of course, they play 8-minute quarters. That hasn't changed since you were in school or when I was in school. I like that. It's a comfortable amount, but it's also a time commitment too as well because there's no shot clock still.
Right.
I've never wondered why they haven't evolved to a shot clock.
Yeah, I think the high school level, part of preparing kids to go on to the next level is going ahead and implementing that shot clock.
Yeah.
Especially when you get those teams that are really good at holding the ball. That's just not a part of the game that's going to last after the high school level. You've got to know how to run your stuff, get to your spots, and execute, especially when you want to hold on to the lead in the game. So I wish they would put 35, 37 seconds, something like that in the high school.
NBA's always been 24, but they've changed the college, and of course the girls play 10-minute quarters in college as well. And I like the 20-minute halves, and I like the 12-minute quarters, but 8-minute quarters are nice, but the shot clock would be added value.
I think it will be very special for the game. Like I said, part of what makes the game of basketball entertaining is seeing the change of possessions constantly. So hopefully VHSL will kind of be, a pioneer for that and change that pretty quickly.
How do you preach the fundamentals, Mike, when you see high school, college, and NBA games? Even when you were at Wagner, it seemed like a lot of times a lot of these kids just run up and down the court with no strategy. Does that drive you crazy as a coach that you tell them to guard this part of the basket in practice and play a certain opponent, but they kind of do helter-skelter? Does that get on your nerves?
It really does. And I think one thing with our kids, because they don't grow up knowing the game, so we preach to them that, first of all, the rules are different. In the NBA, for example, you can't be in the paint on defense for 3 seconds. So you guys think the paint is wide open because they made some great move, but the rules don't allow them to. One of my teammates actually who worked out with LeBron James taught me that when he caught the ball, he would count 1 1,000, 2 1,000 until the help defense has to leave, and then he would attack. So helping them understand what's going on away from the ball. And then the other big thing for me, when I really get frustrated with them, I tell them, you want to make all these moves, and the court isn't even the same size.
Right.
So there's so much more room to do your own thing in NBA basketball, and that just does not translate to high school basketball.
A lot of these high school gyms are old. Denby, Menchville, and Warwick. There's not much space there.
Not at all.
You guys got a nice court, you and Woodside do, but not every court is cozy. I mean, Bethel and Hampton, Kecoughtan, Phoebus, these are old school courts.
Yeah, and that's a major adjustment for the players, especially when they're not cognitive of that. And you realize something that might have been working at a bigger school like Woodside, especially in transition play, you get somewhere at one of those smaller schools and you're like, seems a little bit more stuffy. So it causes us to make adjustments as coaches too.
We're talking to Lou Radford. He's the brand new head boys basketball coach at Heritage. Talk about your career. You went from Heritage to Wagner, and talk about some of the places you coached at.
Right. I think, even going back to Heritage, I didn't realize how special it was because I played with a special group of guys, and I actually was able to play varsity at the 9th grade level. So going on, that allowed me to really be a playmaker at Heritage High School, and I still kind of hold on to that legacy. I bragged at my kids that I'm still the scoring leader. We've had a couple of guys that should have beat me, but because I played all 4 levels of all 4 years of varsity basketball, I have that title still, and that allowed me to really understand what it's like to score the basketball and play at a high level. So when I got to Wagner, I was humbled a little bit, playing with some guys that were really special. I had one teammate, Jamal Smith, who was on Carmelo's high school team. So this guy, he could really play ball. And they taught me a lot, and it really taught me to change my game a little bit. So when I got back here, I made a responsible decision to come back to this area to have an impact on this area, on the 757, on Newport News, specifically Heritage High School. I think about when I was at the school I was at before in Hampton, I said, I'm not leaving until I can go to Heritage. So when I got the opportunity to come there and to coach, it was a blessing. I felt like, it was a godsend for me.
Kind of like the loyalty George Massenberg has with the football team. Even though he went to Hampton, you can tell he's a Heritage guy.
Absolutely.
Did you grow up as a man in New York?
I did grow up as a man. Letting you know how personal it was for me. Here I am on a scholarship in the middle of New York City, having the best time of my life, but at home, I have 6 brothers and sisters, or 7 of us. So things weren't easy there. My mom, she didn't give me a monthly allowance. When it was time for me to go back to school, I had to find my own way a lot of times. And God's blessed my mom where she's transitioned to doing some better things. But I'm thankful that I came up when I did so that I could grow up to be a man. And that's really what opened my eyes and made me realize I got to get back to Newport News.
And those are some steps too. You said you played varsity all 4 years, so you kind of grow up quick. And then you grow up in New York too, especially away from Newport News, which is a small city compared to the Big Apple. And you travel on the road to play all these different colleges. You have to get along with all types of people.
Oh yeah, you got to be able to at least go to somebody in the subway who doesn't want to talk to you. And do I ride the A train or the 1 train? So yeah, those experiences, I'm really thankful for them. They helped me to realize, hey, it's a big world out here. You got to be ready for that.
Right. Talk about what are your goals for this first year?
I think our major goal for this year is to compete. I'm not big on really trying to look into the future and say we're going to claim something that isn't realistic, or it may be realistic. I just don't want to say that particularly. I want us to come out and play basketball the right way, be unified as a team, and compete every night. So
because it's a team sport. If you see somebody ball hogging, I guess they'll come on the bench quick, right?
Right. Well, I'm hoping that we won't get to that point, but we're going to have principles there that, one thing we've taught our kids since summer is that, hey, this is a team full of weapons. So, when I'm in war, I use my whole arsenal. I don't just rely on my shotgun or my AK-47. There are different battles that require me to pull out my tank or my aircraft carrier.
Right. Do you still make cuts for the team?
Yes.
Wow. There was nothing worse than being cut on a team, but you have to persevere. That's what life's all about.
Absolutely, and especially being a teacher, you get those kids that come up to you and want to kind of be coddled and expect to have some kind of personal relationship, which is great, but that doesn't equate to being successful in the basketball court.
And we'll leave with geometry. That's a given, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. That is the head boys basketball coach at Heritage High School. And for our fans out there, tell them your full name.
My full name is pronounced Leishian Radford.
And of course, that was hard to pronounce, and people probably thought you went to Radford.
Right, absolutely. In fact, when I was getting recruited by them, that was part of their pitch. Hey, you get to play with your name on the same school as you go to. So
we'll just call him Lou. Everybody calls him Lou. Lou, all the best to you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Brand new boys basketball coach at your alma mater.
Absolutely.
Very good.
All right, back here at Warwick High School in Newport News, we're hearing from everybody in the truck tonight. Ray and Greg and Bill. And, of course, Greg doing a great job engineering. Greg, thank you. And, of course, all the great people, Ray and Bill in the truck and Carl as well, for getting this on the air. It's not easy, folks, doing this live. They work full-time to get live on the air. It's difficult. Some places you can do it, some places you can't. Of course, our biggest live event ever was what we were part of, at least in Newport News, on a high school level, was the state championship way back in 2000 involving Heritage.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
A great day in Richmond for sure, but not a great day tonight for the Warwick Raiders defending their home court. Down 21 to the visiting Heritage Hurricanes.
Warwick needs to come out strong. Warwick in the white, Heritage in the gray. Third quarter, just like that. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Lou Radford. Carrying on that tradition from Dennis Katufas.
Yeah, and it's great to see, again, like we talked about in our first game at Woodside, when you have somebody like a Stephon Welsh come back to the alma mater and bring that tradition full circle. We're seeing that here at Heritage with Lou Radford, and I think he brings a lot to the table in terms of credibility with these young men because he knows where they've been.
Nice glass backboard there. I love the glass backboards.
Coach Stagg trying to get these Warwick Raiders
Gotta
motivated.
put that first half behind them.
Yeah, I think this next 5 minutes are going to be crucial, Greg. If Warwick can make a bit of a comeback, put a dent in that lead, then they might be in good shape.
And outside jumper, all net by Angel.
Wow, Angel looking divine right there. Just
And keep your eye on number 3 for Warwick, Aaron Thompson. He's got a lot of big-time ups with his game. All right, Heritage with the ball. There you see Blizzard. Warwick likes that man defense. Angels out there, as well as Hudson. Warwick with the steal. Trying to get that ball control. Also out there, number 21 for the Hurricanes, Emmanuel. There's Angel. In the lane, a little bit too hard.
we'll see a lot of contact on that drive.
And, of course, Sincere Sumter.
And I think right now, if you're Warwick, I like what they did on that last play. Getting in there, double teaming the man with the ball, trying to force something on defense because like we saw in that girls game earlier, Greg, sometimes defense can lead to offense. If you can put pressure on the other team, make them turn over the ball, you can get some easy buckets in transition.
Outside jumper off. And don't forget, tomorrow night we got Denby and Woodside. Encore presentation in boys basketball only at 7 o'clock. Cox Cable 47-517 and NPSTV.com. We're live now. And a lot of people always ask me, when we're live, so is NNPSTV.com. They're live as well. It's a simulcast online, so you get the best of both worlds, TV and online. So, nice shot right here by Angel. Oh, net, Nate Milton.
Just from a couple steps beyond the arc.
Ice chill.
They've been doing that all night. Whether you're talking about Blizzard or Angel, as we saw right there, or Atkins, who got really hot towards the end of that first period.
And sometimes when you got to lead, you let your foot off the pedal. You can't, though, not in basketball. You see Coach Stagg? Both guys have their jacket and ties on tonight.
Almost like they knew they were going to be on TV, Greg. They got their wardrobe looking tight.
They must have talked to Greg Lesko. All right. Warwick with the ball going right to left in the white uniforms. Out there is McGill, Thompson, Willis, who just threw the ball. Trying to get their feet from underneath them. Number 24 out there for the Raiders as well, Trey Jones. And Booth. There's Angel. Outside jumper, off. Sumter with the boards, passes it back out. The mark of a good team, but you don't want to get sloppy. And a good steal by the Hurricanes.
Both teams trying to press the action, Greg.
And a nice shot off the boards right there by the Heritage Hurricanes. Number 30, respectively, Hudson. Now the momentum, they're putting the foot on the pedal. With 5:30 left in the third quarter, it's 46-22, all Heritage on the road.
Yeah, that was just a ticky-tack foul right there by Sincere Sumter, not keeping his head in the game right there.
Thanks to Jenny Nuttycombe for announcing that we're live tonight in the public address earlier. The AD here at Warwick. And the give and go is good. Warwick needs a lot more of that.
Great rebound and putback by Booth, trying to get something started here in the third quarter.
Warwick's got to work on that shot selection, attack the glass, do well in the transition on offense and defense. Like that. Focus and put that first half behind you. Here comes Warwick. Give and go, a little sloppy there. It's not a 50-yard dash.
No, and if you're Warwick, you're not going to get back all of these points with one basket. You have to have a consistent offensive flow, just like that right there by the Heritage Hurricanes.
48-24. 4:46 left in quarter three. Live tonight on Cox Cable 47, 517, and then PSTV.com. Doubleheader action tonight.
Hudson at the charity stripe. And they got so many different ways to beat you, Greg. We've seen Hudson have some good offensive plays tonight. We've seen Ross have some good plays off the bench. Atkins, Sumter, Angel, Blizzard, so many different players. Emmanuel that have contributed to this lead by the Heritage Hurricanes.
The hot stove is tonight. You talk about that in baseball. It's going on in basketball tonight.
Well, you know what happens when you touch a hot stove, Greg? You end up getting burned, and that might be what we're seeing from the Warwick Raiders tonight. They started off really fast. They started off really confidently, but we have not seen that confidence for about a good 15, 20 minutes.
Hudson missing that free throw. A little fatigue there. These guys get tired too. That's when you start seeing mistakes and turnovers and fouls, when you start getting fatigued.
And that's the thing. You have to be smart. You have to keep your head around you, make intelligent plays, and limit your turnovers, because that is what, if anything, will allow Warwick to get back into the game, as we see a nice little up and in bucket right there by Aaron Thompson.
He told you to keep your eye out for him. He's been very proactive, giving guidance to the team when needed. You got to beef up in the boards too, Nate. You can't take that for granted. You got to crash the boards. And Heritage got the advantage because they have so many tall players, and Sumter and Hudson especially.
Not only do they have that height advantage, Greg, but they're physical. There you see Lou Radford there in the background.
Traveling, though. On number 14, that's Miller for Heritage.
That is the one thing that will allow Heritage to give Warwick an opportunity to get back into this game. As there you see Coach Radford coaching up the young man, is turnovers. Turnovers are the quickest way to allow your opponent to get back into the ball
Just
game.
like that was a turnover. Got to be focused in hand. 22-point lead for Heritage on the road. Phoebus done very well this year. Menchville in boys basketball. Woodside's always competitive under Stephon Welsh. A lot more parity in basketball than football, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
That was just like the Iceman there. Excellent shot.
Daryl Atkins getting the party started from way downtown.
And Warwick just playing sloppy now. They're tired. They have a lot of players on the bench, though, but they're not playing. But it's all Heritage tonight. Started off close in the first quarter, but that was about it.
Yeah, at the end of the first period, it was a 5-point lead for the visiting Hurricanes, and they have just expanded it since then and built upon that.
And they just expand again. 53-26. But I got to give Warwick a lot of credit. They're putting a lot of heart out there tonight. Still have that desire, even though they're shorthanded.
Yeah, you got to give them credit for their heart, for their hustle, for their tenacity. But at the end of the day, Greg, talent is the biggest thing that makes the difference on a basketball court. And right now, Heritage just has the better athletes. They have the more experienced athletes, and they have the athletes that are used to winning in crunch time.
There's a steal. And the shot is up, and it's good. By Atkins. There's nothing like that feeling when you're in a wide open floor and you make that shot. If you feel really good.
Yeah, and I think what I liked about that play the most was after the steal, Atkins didn't rush it. He took time to gather himself and make the best high percentage shot.
Of course, we all got to give credit to the college guys. Duke always doing very well.
Zion Williamson, certainly a prospect that will go high in the NBA draft.
Kentucky's always up there. And, of course, we mentioned the NBA. You see Coach Stagg. We'll see an NBA former player in Struthers soon for Menchville. He's a Menchville coach. Toronto and, of course, Golden State. But if the Lakers get Anthony Davis, watch out. And they're both healthy, Golden State don't have a chance. Those are the two best players in the NBA, bar none. LeBron James and Anthony Davis. There's nobody on Golden State that's got the level of Anthony Davis. Nobody. He's young, he's hungry, and he has not played on a contender.
Yeah, and honestly, in that same mold, if I'm a team in the NBA that's a player away from contention, I might be looking to make a deal for Bradley Beal, especially now with the injury to John Wall. Beal might be somebody that
you have to blow up the Wizards at this point.
You just got to start over.
Yeah,
so Beal might be somebody that would be attractive to a playoff contender.
Everybody's, they're counting on Ariza, who's no spring chicken.
Yeah.
And the shot is up and it's good by Warwick, number 34 respectively for the Raiders.
But right back on the other end, Emmanuel coming back for the Heritage Hurricanes.
Heritage wide open, and it's off.
Good job by the Warwick defenders to get back on that fast break and transition.
Let's take a look at it again.
And there we see Atkins. Right there, Greg, that little pump fake where he reset himself and got a nice high percentage shot.
Nothing fancy, but he got it down the net.
That's all that matters, Greg. 2 points. Whether it's a layup, a jump shot, or a dunk, it still counts the same.
You're just seeing a lot of shift in basketball since the three. And for a while it was all about the dunk, but you're not seeing as many dunks. You're seeing more of the outside. But you still want to see centers get involved. Centers are sometimes undervalued.
Yeah, well, I think especially in the high school games, centers still matter.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing those interior plays. We saw it in the girls' game earlier with Goodman and what she brought to the table. And we're seeing it again here with players like a Travell Blizzard, players like a Sincere Sumter, players like a Sean Hudson doing work in the interior. That's helped open things up. And now you can go outside and hit those long-distance shots. So I think in college and the pros, we're seeing players move farther and farther out to the perimeter. But in high school, having a good center can still make a difference.
We want to see more students out here. A lot of adults out here to the game tonight. So students, if you're watching at home, I know it's tough on a school night, but we'd like to see it at Menchville.
Absolutely. That's going to be a really good game in Menchville. Looking forward to it.
Greg Henderson, the AD. Of course, Paul Macklin, the AD at Woodside, whose brother David played for the great late Joe Paterno.
Not only did he play for the late great Joe Paterno, but he also played for Tony Dungy in the NFL.
Yep.
So he's had a lot.
And played with Peyton Manning.
A lot of great mentors and role models along the way for David Macklin.
57-29, 114 left. In the third quarter. It's been all Heritage tonight. Survive and advance this time of the year. Got to win or lose quickly and forget about it.
Yep. And that's why this game was such an important contest for Warwick. They wanted to build off of the momentum of getting that first win.
All right, since it's Valentine's coming up this month, what's your favorite candy?
My favorite,
as far as that type of mode.
My favorite Valentine's themed candy, Greg, would have to be the chocolate. The box of chocolates. I think a wise man once said, "You never know what you're gonna get in a box of chocolates, Greg."
No marshmallow.
I like the assorted, where sometimes it might be caramel or it might be the nougat or peanut butter.
So much for the sugar diet.
Yeah, you can throw the sugar diet out the window around Valentine's Day.
You just can't eat one either. 57-30, all Heritage. Warwick with the ball in the white uniforms. We're at Warwick High School in Newport News, a place that Jim Harvey made famous, as well as the late, great Ben Moore, who lived on Shoe Lane for so many years. Wow. Sloppy play out of bounds. Ben wouldn't be too happy tonight, but, at least the spirit of Ben Moore lives on.
They were on two different pages right there. Point guard and the wingman were not on the same page. Coach Stack is that's something Coach Stack is going to want to tighten up in practice.
I'll never forget one of the personal gestures Ben did. He always, no matter what school, he'd always give a helping hand. And we did his games when he took on Ferguson, and of course when he was coaching at Menchville as well. Always an event when Ben Moore was around. Had that towel around his jacket.
Of course, the iconic towel.
Yeah, like John Thompson. Walk with the ball. When I was talking to Stephon Welsh the other night for Woodside, he was saying, and we both echoed the statement, you see Mike Smith and Coach Kaz so successful in high school football because they play a lot of varsity freshmen. So by the time they get to be seniors, they're seasoned players. Yeah. And you need that in basketball, too.
And Hampton's always been that way. I remember when I was in high school in the 90s, and Ronald Curry was a 8th grader, and he was playing on the JV team. So that way, when he was a 9th grader, when he was a freshman, he was ready to go to varsity. And that's just kind of that culture that you have to build up. And so it'd be good to see some of the Newport News schools adopt that both in football and basketball.
And just because you're a great high school player doesn't mean you're going to be a dominant Division I college football player or NFL player. Yeah. Because guess what? Most of them are equal value to what you are.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you're a great high school player, you are a huge fish in a smaller pond. Then when you get to college, everybody's been a great high school player. And then, out of those players, 10% are able to make it to the pros.
And so, recruiting is so sophisticated now, too, on all levels.
So just the
Summer League basketball, too. Here's Heritage and the make. By Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, of course, a telecom student here. I think he knew we were going to be on TV live tonight, folks. 60-30, 30-point margin. There you see Coach Radford and the Heritage Hurricanes.
17 seconds left, 30-point lead for Heritage. They can, don't want to let your guard down totally, but they can definitely look to the bench.
I was going to say, I have a feeling we might see the bench empty. Sports highlights, Greg, Monday, 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., and of course, Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. You can catch sports highlights here on Cox Channel 47, Verizon Fios 17, and, of course, nnpstv.com. Got a big anniversary coming up, my friend.
February anniversary month. Thanks to our great producer, Ray Price, for all the work he does. Pretty much I book the guests. He does all the rest. Sometimes he gets them as well. But it's a total team effort, just like in any sport. You got to have good management. You got to have good communication. And without good management, without good communication, guess what? You have nothing.
So you're saying you can't be James Harden on sports highlights?
No. I'm wondering how James Harden's teammates are feeling about that. Because, they're professional athletes. Yeah. They're not playing JV basketball.
I think as long as they're winning right now, they can tolerate it, but for how long is the question. Wow, another basket by the Heritage Hurricanes. Emmanuel having a really good quarter.
And we have one more quarter left. It is 62-30 in favor of Heritage on the road. They're winning by 32. Stay tuned for the final quarter. Live right here on NNPS TV. We're back. What does Warwick need to do here in the fourth quarter?
Warwick has to take it one step at a time, Greg. I remember during the holiday season, I got a chance to watch some of the Christmas specials with my niece that would come on TV. And one of them that I always look forward to is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And that's the one with Santa Claus. You know, he meets up with the heat miser and the cold miser, and he's with the cold miser. And cold miser's like, how do I make a change? You just put one foot in front of the other. You're not going to get very far, but eventually, step by step, you'll get there. That's what Warwick needs to do right now. You know, they're probably not going to win this game, Greg, but you can still make this a teachable moment if you're Coach Stagg and get these guys to finish things out strong.
Nate saying only like he can. Outside jumper off. And the rim is not friendly to Warwick tonight.
Good hustle right here by the Raiders, getting second chances.
I'll take it a step further. Heritage is following Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and they're going down the yellow brick road. Now, Oz could be the regionals.
Yep.
It could be the state. It's up to Heritage. They've got a lot of talent. They need to execute when they play the better teams.
That's the big thing for Heritage right
There's Sumter. Heritage going left to right. Warwick with the steal just hasn't been enough for Warwick tonight. You have to have talent first. I mean, I don't care what team or sport you play. You got to have talent. We're live on Cox Cable 47, 517, NNPSTV.com. We're at Warwick High School. Thank you again to Michelle Price, Ray Price for doing a great job for the doubleheader, for getting the crew together as well, producing. Got an injury right now. Our director, Bill Barlow, engineer, Greg Lesko, and, of course, Carl Daniels.
And we got our student crew here, folks. They have done a great job bringing you this action tonight as we have a player down. So I'll take that time to give you the student crew who has produced a wonderful game for you. We have Flying Ryan Mullen, Michael McClellan, Derek Miracle, Pedro Leon, Joshua Falsagon, Joshua Stuck, a.k.a. Lil Eli, Brandon Hedgepeth, Brandon Nault, Ian Tyson Odette, Xavier Bates, David Embry, Xavier Davis, Trayon Mobley, Sierra Hendricks, and, of course, the inimitable Colin Biggie Smalls. Great job by our student crew tonight. These are 11th and 12th graders, folks, bringing you this production live on NNPSTV.com.
Glad you're with us here in the fourth quarter. Final 6:50 left. Heritage up by 32. Sumter connects.
Wow. In the words of Prince from that Dave Chappelle sketch, Greg Bicaveras, game of blouses.
They didn't count it. They made it, but they didn't count it.
They didn't count it, but I think, Warwick still felt that in their hearts.
Nice shot by the Raiders. Heritage has outscored Warwick in the second half, 21-12. But the big difference was that second quarter.
Yeah. And again, it just goes to show you how learned habits can creep back in, because we saw the confidence that Warwick had in the first half, in the first quarter, Greg. But then once things started getting a little tough, Heritage started getting a little bit more in flow offensively.
It takes time on the road to get a rhythm, and you need to get a rhythm. And the thing is, I don't care what sport. We've seen it in all the sports we've done. That first quarter is a game of kinks. I mean, look at the Patriots. They rarely scored in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That first quarter, you're trying to get a feel for yourself. You really don't settle down emotionally and physically till the second quarter.
Yeah. And Warwick, in terms of the experience that they have to draw on, they've got one win to draw on and, double-digit losses. So the learned habits that you have through the course of the season, you're not going to know how to respond to situations like that because you haven't won enough. And so that's going to be the next task for the Warwick Raiders.
62-33, 5:50 left. And Warwick gets the rebound in the white uniforms. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. At Greg Bick on Twitter. Live on Cox Cable 47, 517, NNPSTV.com. Tweet us at Greg Bick, And
At N8MOZAIK, at Nate Mosaic on Twitter.
GREGBIC. Now, what is your thoughts on Instagram? It seems like that's the younger generation, but it hasn't quite evolved compared to Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, it's funny because I
Kind of hit a peak, kind of.
certain generations will gravitate to certain things. Like I think there's, Facebook had its time. Facebook had its season. Twitter, to me, is the one thing that seems to be
Sustainable.
Snapchat seems to be something that the younger kids are into. Instagram, I don't know, because I tend to like Instagram. I go through hot and cold periods with Instagram, but it's part of this new social media where everybody has to have a brand. Everybody has to showcase themselves.
But in defense of Facebook, Facebook Live is really good.
Yeah.
And Messenger has killed Skype.
Yeah.
You don't hear nobody saying I'm going to Skype anymore.
Yeah.
62-34. These referees and officials letting them play their game.
Yeah, you got to give credit to our officiating crew tonight. They've called a really clean game. And, you talk about Messenger. To me, the only people that I know that use Skype anymore are podcasters because it's an easy way to record things now. But, yeah, for the most part, we've seen all these tech companies try to find their space in a rapidly changing
But not
marketplace.
MySpace.
But not my poor Tom.
There's a glass backboard, 62-34. We're at Warwick High School in Newport News tonight.
Actually, not poor Tom, because he ended up selling MySpace to Justin Timberlake, so he made a little bit of money on that transaction. Shout out to
It's like when you have the key on, we can hear everything.
shout out to Regina watching us
Oh,
in
Regina,
Wisconsin.
okay, very nice. Out of the Midwest.
Friend of the program. Again,
Probably a little bit chillier there than here,
I was going to say, it might be a little bit colder, so bundle up, Regina. Stay warm while you're watching this. It is a balmy, 40 degrees in Newport News tonight, Greg? Somewhere around there, but it certainly does not feel like the middle of winter. Bill Barlow says hello, Regina.
It's 51 right now,
51
live on
degrees.
TV. 20 above freezing in February. That's about as good as it gets.
I'm telling you, don't fall for the okie doke, Greg, because next week it'll be snowing. That's how it is around
Here
here.
it's going to be cold this weekend. No snow, no. We'll start calling you Nathaniel if it snows.
Warwick needs something to happen. Snow, rain, wind.
They play hockey outdoors once in a while.
That's the only time I think I actually like the hockey is when they do like the NHL Classic game outside. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of hockey. It's not my game. I'd rather watch intense action like this on the hardwood right now between Warwick and Heritage.
Warwick just shooting anything up. Got to take control when you're at home because it's tough to win on the road. Heritage is going to try to sweep the series this year. Angel in and out.
Nice job on the interior by Ross, the boss.
And our officials, Powers, Willis, and Albert. They have three officials. I hope you enjoyed the Denby Woodside game we did recently. That'll be on TV tomorrow night at 7. I like that leather WHS up in the billboards, WHS for Warwick High School. WHS. Nice give and go. Heritage is pouring it on.
I was gonna say-
And, they're just doing their job. They're not trying to showboat. They're just playing basketball, and fundamentally everything is working.
And they need to continue to play like this because every game is not going to be as easy as this one for Heritage, particularly when you talk about Phoebus and Minchfield and some of those teams that
And
are
regional
up in the
type
standings.
action.
Yeah.
Radford, the coach, and he brings stability. He played for the school, played college basketball. Very mature. And he can tell the kids how he did it under Coach Katufis.
Again, shout out to our student crew for bringing you the sights and sounds of this exciting matchup tonight, folks. The game of the week, Warwick and Heritage.
Sumter misses. Heritage in the gray. Final 3:21 left in this ball game. Pretty much academic now. 32-point lead on the road for the Hurricanes with the big Heritage logo across the shirt. Like the uniforms for both teams. You know, college and NFL teams should learn a lot from these high school uniforms. They keep it simple. I mean, Penn State kept it simple, and they won.
Yep.
Notre Dame, Alabama. You don't see Alabama changing their uniforms. And they keep on winning and winning and winning.
It's about the money, though, Greg, when you think about, especially at a school like Oregon, with that Nike money, with all the different combinations and varieties of uniforms they have.
Isn't it funny, Clemson won the championship, yet people still just talk about Alabama.
Yep.
Warwick getting it a little bit too late. Still a full court pressure. I like their hustle here at home in front of the home crowd. Students at Menchville are watching or listening. Like to see you at the game next week.
Yeah, Menchville, we'll see.
You need a
next
student
week.
body at the game.
Yeah, come on out. You know, bring the noise. We'll bring the lights. We'll bring the cameras. You folks bring the action and support these young men making moves like that.
There's no Facebook Live can match live TV. 69-36, 2:35 left, and some change. The clock is just rolling. Like in football, you have a 35-point lead. The clock doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I like that rule because you wouldn't have a mercy rule.
And to think that first quarter, it was a nip and tuck game. It was a very tight game. Warwick was playing with confidence, and now they're getting run off of their home court. But again, this is a learning moment. This is something that they can build upon.
Again, the truck 8+. It's just nice and peaceful. Thank you, Ray.
I'm telling you,
Greg, Bill, thank you even.
And can't forget Carl.
No, don't forget
Carl.
CD. I call CD the Quiet Storm.
The Fab Four. They're like our version of the Beatles.
Yeah, whatever they're doing. Bottle this for the next game in football season.
I don't know who's Ringo. Maybe Carl's Ringo. I don't know how that would work.
Definitely not Clint Eastwood. You know, sometimes these actors just need to give it up. Don't get me wrong about Clint Eastwood. Excellent in front of the camera, behind the scenes, but you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him too.
I think
he doesn't do anything for me anymore. I'm
as
sorry.
long as those checks clear, I think Clint's
That's all he cares about.
Keep going. And I don't.
He's
blame
definitely
him.
not a John Wayne. That's for sure. I'm sorry, Clint Eastwood. Google John Wayne. Nice layup right there by number 11 for the Raiders. Kelly.
Nice bucket by the Raiders, but like you were saying earlier, my friend, too little, too late.
And Heritage girls won it, and Heritage boys are going to win it. It's going to be a Heritage doubleheader sweep here live on TV on our feature presentations here on Cox Cable 47-517, 69-38 in favor of the Hurricanes. With 34 seconds left.
Time winding
Great
down.
sportsmanship by both these teams, giving up their time, their talent, and their treasure.
This is what it's all about, Greg, here in Newport News. It's about academics, athletics, and activities.
And events like this.
Events like this, and both of these schools exemplify that. So you want to tip your cap to the students, to the coaches, to the fans. And again, Menchville, we need y'all to come out next week for that big matchup.
Who's really stood out for Heritage tonight was, of course, Atkins, Sumter, Angel. Total team effort. Really everybody on Blizzard.
Yeah.
Emmanuel. For Warwick, Aaron Thompson really stood out too.
I think this will be a good game for Heritage in the long run because Blizzard didn't have to do everything. He got a lot of contributing points from the other guys on the team, particularly Sincere Sumter.
What I like about this, these guys don't have their phones. They're just playing basketball. And sometimes we take that for granted, this digital age we live in. You got to just put the phone down and just play sports.
It's like that old Curtis Blow song. They're playing basketball.
Right.
And basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Or that song, Jam On It. Old school.
The heavens to Murgatroyd even.
But Warwick needed a lot more than 6 minutes tonight.
I'm telling you, Kelly tried to get something started here, but the show might be over for the Warwick Raiders, my friend. 30-point lead. Make that 29-point lead for the visiting Hurricanes.
That's all she wrote from Warwick High School tonight as our doubleheader comes to a near end. Live here on Cox Cable 47 517. And Heritage is going to win it, sweep the series against Warwick. And the layup is up, and it's good. They count it. So a little icing on the cake there for the Raiders, and the game is over. Heritage wins it 69-42 on the road over their arch rival, the Warwick Raiders. Stay tuned.
Remember, you can prevent this from happening to yourself. Wear a helmet when riding a bike. And also, watch out for cars, but still, remember to wear a helmet.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
All right, we're back right here. Final score, you see it on the screen. Heritage wins it on the road 69-42. Greg Piccaveras, glad you're with us. Nate Milton for our live feature presentation right here on live TV. And, of course, when you're on live TV, anything can happen as well. But, Nate Milton, it was Heritage pretty much from the jump.
Yeah, there's a song out right now called Big Banks Hate Little Banks. Tonight we saw Big Shots Hate the Little Shots, because that's what keyed the Heritage Hurricanes and spurred them on to victory. Once they started to get some momentum, that was all she wrote. It was very close in that first period, but once Heritage remembered who they were, it was off to the races, and unfortunately, the home team Warwick Raiders weren't able to secure their second victory of the season.
Heritage sweeps the doubleheader series over Warwick in girls and boys, and they also won twice over Warwick in boys basketball. So once again, the final score from Warwick High School, Heritage 69 in boys action over Warwick 42. For Nate Milton and Ray Price, have a great night. I'm Greg Piccaveras, and we'll talk to you soon.